Chapter 3. Psychology is more important than grammar and vocabulary. Most people have suffered with English for so long they worry there's no solution. Trained by schools to be passive, fear the mistakes, and search for just one right answer. Most English learners are stressed and frustrated. Some feel nearly hopeless. They've spent years in English classrooms, memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary lists, and studying for exams such as TOEFL, IELTS, and TOEIC. Despite all this work and effort, most English learners are frustrated. Many struggle with even simple conversation and feel nervous anytime they must speak English. They must they memorize countless grammar rules, yet even simple conversations feels difficult. Likewise, despite years of study, most learners still Amer- cannot understand American TV or movies. After so many years of traditional learning, students are confused when they try to speak. They constantly think about grammar and translation. First, they think of a sentence in their own language, then translate it to English. Think about the grammar and finally speak. When they listen, they go through us on a similar progress. They hear the English, translate it into their own language, think of a response in their language, translate their response into English, and then think about the grammar to be sure their response is correct. No wonder their speech is so slow and unnatural. No wonder English feels stressful and difficult. Real conversation are fast, and it's nearly impossible to do all of this thinking fast enough, especially when talking to a native speaker. If you think about translation and grammar during for a real conversation, you will quickly become lost. Instead of listening carefully to the other person, you'll be translating your own responses and trying to remember grammar. Your speech will be hesitant. Often, the other person will become frustrated by your lack of understanding. Of course, if you see the other person is losing patience, you will usually become even more nervous. It's a terrible downward spiral that most English learners know too well. There is a solution. There is a way to escape. As there is a solution. There is a way to escape the hidden curriculum. There is a road to English fluency, and you can travel on it. You can speak English powerfully. You can speak English clearly, naturally, and effortless. This solution, however, will require you to completely change your beliefs about education and the way you learn English. I call the solution the effortless English system, and it has two parts, the psychology and the method. Most schools, teachers, and learners focus only on method. In other words, they focus solely on the pieces of the English language, vocabulary, and grammar. As we learned in the last chapter, schools primarily use the grammar translation method, with some communication activities added. While schools focus on method, they completely ignore the first part of the effortless English system, the psychology. Yet psychology is probably the most important element for success with English speaking. When you think of your own English speaking, you'll realize that your nervousness, lack of confidence, and frustration are problems. How do how do you change this? Without an effective psychological system, you will struggle to find success with even the best language teaching method. Let's use us let's use a story to understand this is two important parts of the effortless English system. Imagine you are on a road, driving on the road to English fluency. What kind of car would you want? Let's say, let's say all you have to drive is an old, slow car that often breaks down. In addition, you fuel this old car with cheap gasoline. What kind of trip you will have? How fast will you will go? How fast will you go on this road to fluency? most likely your trip will be slow and frustrating, with frequent breakdowns. In fact, you probably will not reach your destination. Now, you could put some high quality gas in the old car, but even then, it will likely take you a long time to reach your destination. Better gas will help a little, but the trip is still likely to be slow and frustrating. Now, imagine instead that you'll be driving a Formula One racing car on this road to fluency. The car is made for speed and performance. Clearly, it will go better than it will go faster than the old slow car. But what if you fill it with cheap, low quality fuel? There will likely be there will likely be problems. Racing cars need racing fuel, or they will not perform well. Obviously, the best situation would be to put high quality racing fuel into your Formula One racing car. With this car and this fuel, your trip on the road to fluency will be fast and exciting.